Every company is different, and it's part of your role as an employee to understand the nuance and adjust your motivations and decision making. I like citing Google because they have the triple T team of over 30,000 Swedes.
Like exciting things and code reviews.
They're especially relevant for this video because they have teams in over 50 countries and they work on remote projects pretty regularly. I mean, Google does. I'll divide this video into three parts: rules and guidelines, communicating with your team, and performance reviews. You can't see my hand, I'm counting you off. I'll show you my recommendations, but in the end, this is your career tenor. It's your call. Rules and guidelines exist because we want to encourage good behavior, identify and discourage bad behavior. While both are indicative of an org's ecosystem, rules are more indicative of the company's culture and are more enforced, strictly enforced. Understand the purpose and understand the problem space if implementation is neither enforced nor expected. Determining what is a rule and what is a guideline can be a simple task of asking managers. It also makes sense to talk it out with coworkers just to hear things articulated.
A night of good remote work.
To me, that's what good remote work is all about. It's understanding the tools available to you. It's minimizing all suboptimal processes. It's expediting predictive performance and performance equity. The big thing I've learned about communication is that it can be divided into three specifics. Sip it. Be specific. Be pragmatic. Be inclusive.
Button up.
Find a concise way to communicate your problem, question, constraints with your teammates for better shared understanding. Great tools to do this are Slack and Discord. Sometimes I have a bug that can be solved in an eighth of the time by just relaying it to a teammate. There's such a thing as the minimal viable information to relay that will save you time on your problem. This is called being specific. Be pragmatic. You may have a problem that doesn't make sense to specify. This could be a problem that requires low engineering or mental bandwidth. You don't want to be wasting anyone's time with something you can just look up. There's this concept of defining desired results before defining constraints. In The Effective Executive, Peter Drucker writes, "First, the effective executive defines results by asking, what should the enterprise expect from me in the next 18 months to 2 years? What results will I commit to? What deadlines?" And then he considers the restraints to action. Whenever you successfully squash a constraint and move closer to a desired result, it means a lot to check in with your teammates and let them know about your progression. This tells them your relative pace if you're new and spectrum of capacity. This can also help you guys, standardize. There's this example in Google's Flamingo book of a guy who refuses to collaborate on his brand new, innovative bicycle gears idea, only to find a bug in production. His neighbor, who had a similar idea, was willing to collaborate with other engineers, found the problems earlier, and was able to ship a better product earlier. This is just anecdotal stuff, but I'll have a link to an IBM study of code collaborations. What is satisfactory and what is exemplary performance? To me, performance reviews are about coordination and alignment with executives. You want to book a one-on-one and you want to make sure you're meeting those expectations. If you have an extra minute, I've linked to a deep dive on one-on-ones by Lucy Bain. You may have a piece of work that you're proud of. Now is the time to assess your commitment to that. You may want advice on a piece of work, team member, or third party. Now is the time to ask, how do you feel about the quality of work you're receiving? Do you need more time for something? What can your manager change or do to help you and the team? Is there something you've noticed that is counterintuitive or not exactly obvious? All right, let's take it from the top. Rules and guidelines are important for identifying good and bad behavior, and we can just ask our teammates and manager to clarify that. When communicating, it's important to be specific, inclusive, pragmatic, and not sharing is just as important as sharing sometimes. Performance reviews are about meeting and exceeding expectations and finding a way to articulate that. We're articulating expectations and coordinating with executives. Well, that's it. Subscribe to get ahead in engineering.